Yippee-ki-yay! Let's get crafting, and let's head out on the trail with Candace J. Candace has really outdone herself with today's project. You're just not going to believe what Candace has done with a little bit of leftover scrap clay.
Hi, welcome to my studio. Today I'm going to show you how to take an old wooden frame and turn it into a fabulous keepsake. I chose this photo as the basis for my project because it's my mom goofing around at one of those ghost towns in California, and I just love the picture. It tickles me every time I look at it. I desaturated it, I took all the color out of it, and I also printed smaller versions in color that I'm going to mount in the foreground. They'll be cut out into individual figures. Now you can see I've already mounted this on foam core board and I've started to paint it brown. The entire thing is going to be painted in brown. I cut out the same size foam core for the frame and I just scooted it in. It's not glued in yet, but I'm going to paint it all brown and wipe some of it off before I get started with the outer decorations. I've finished painting the frame and the top piece of foam core board, and I went back over and I sanded very lightly on the frame to get the look that I wanted. And at this point nothing is glued together yet, but I want to figure out the placement of my little guys, so I'm going to put them in there and see. And the reason that I'm doing this is so that I'll know how far out over here I can come with my polymer clay design. And then I'm going to use a little pop dot in between this little background piece and that'll make it sturdier when I go to stand it up. Now for the fun part. I plan to make a tree and some tiles out of polymer clay. Now that's going to take a lot of clay. So I've pulled all of this out of my scrap bag and I'm going to turn this into almost a solid color. Now it's a safe bet that you're going to end up with either black, brown, or gray when you mix all these colors together. And the color isn't that important because you're going to layer color on top of it as well. So let's get started. Now I'm going to pop the frame out of the foam core board, which I see has warped, so I'm going to flip it over and put a weight on it to flatten it back out. But for right now, I'm just going to build my tree right onto my frame, and it'll fire on the frame too. It'll go in the oven together. I'm going to use aluminum to make the armature for the tree, and floral wire for the branches, and the clay that I rolled out to cover it all. Now I'm going to start laying on my scrap clay and forming it around to make the bark of the tree. Now that the tree has baked, we need to give it a little bit of metallic to lighten it up. Another way to do that would be to give it a good sanding. Here's a piece of the clay that I rolled out, and I've textured it with a fondant rolling pin, so it has nice little curly cues all over it. And now I'm going to add some copper colored metallic paste. I'm just going to rub it on and spread it out with my finger. Actually, the more of this that shows through, this brown, the more vintage it looks. So that's a nice feature. And the other thing that I'm doing is a little bit of verdigris, as though the copper has oxidized. And then I will cut them out with my cookie cutter, like so. And we will have lovely tiles. It's that easy. This might not look like anything now, but you just watch. It's going to turn itself into a wagon wheel. So the wagon wheel's in place, and I'm ready to glue my little forefront figures in, and all the tile is on. Just a couple of last minute things. Make sure before you glue the top foam core board to the bottom that you have a way to hang it up on the wall. I used holes with grommets in them and strung a wire through it before I glued it. And also, when you fire your tree, you're going to be firing it on the frame, but not with the foam core board. So you need to put some folded up paper towels underneath the back branches so that they won't break when you go to set it down into the foam core board on the top. And there you have it. One of the things I really love about this project is that it's very versatile. You could use any photo at all and put a small cutout version of you in the foreground. It doesn't even have to be a photo in the background. And it certainly doesn't have to be a tree on the side. It could be flowers to accent a more elegant photo, or it could be totally whimsical. It could be King Kong climbing a skyscraper. The possibilities are endless. I hope that you will try it, and I hope that I get to see it.